Marie Curie is remembered as one of history's greatest scientists, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the only person to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields. But there's a darker side to her legacy that few people talk about. Her relentless pursuit of discovery came at a devastating cost: radiation poisoning that slowly consumed her body, causing unimaginable suffering in her final years. Today, we're telling the story of how Marie Curie's obsession with unlocking the secrets of the atom led to her tragic death, and how her sacrifice fundamentally transformed our understanding of science and safety forever. Marie Curie was born Maria Skłodowska in Warsaw, Poland in 1867, during a time when women were largely barred from higher education. Despite the obstacles, she taught herself science through voracious reading and eventually moved to Paris to study physics at the Sorbonne, one of the first women ever admitted to its physics program. She was brilliant, driven, and possessed an almost obsessive need to understand the mysteries of nature. In 1895, she met Pierre Curie, a fellow physicist, and together they would embark on research that would change the world and ultimately cost them everything. In 1896, Henry Becquerel discovered mysterious rays emitted by uranium, a phenomenon he called radioactivity. Marie Curie became obsessed. She measured the radioactivity of every element she could find, working with more intensity than anyone around her could comprehend. She would spend entire days in an unheated, poorly ventilated laboratory, handling radioactive materials with bare hands, absorbing the radiation with every breath. No one understood the danger. Radiation was new, mysterious, and thrilling, and Curie was determined to unlock its secrets, no matter the cost. In 1898, Marie and Pierre discovered two new elements, polonium and radium. The radium discovery was particularly significant. It was far more radioactive than uranium, and Curie had to process tons of pitchblende ore to extract just a gram of pure radium. She would stir boiling ore with an iron rod nearly as tall as herself, breathing in radioactive dust, letting the radioactive materials splash onto her skin and clothing. Her notebooks from this period are so contaminated with radiation that they are still considered hazardous waste today and require special protective equipment to handle. She called it her glorious work. It was, in fact, slowly killing her. The Curies won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903 for their work on radioactivity alongside Becquerel. But by then, Pierre had already begun experiencing the symptoms of radiation sickness, chronic pain, weakened immune system, and mysterious ailments that baffled doctors. Marie dismissed her own symptoms. She had burns on her hands so severe that her fingertips were bandaged constantly, cracked, and bleeding. Yet she continued her work with unrelenting determination. In 1906, tragedy struck. Pierre was hit by a horse-drawn wagon in Paris and killed instantly. He was only 46. Rather than stepping back, Marie doubled down on her work. She became the first female professor at the Sorbonne, continuing her radioactivity research with even greater intensity. She became director of Pierre's laboratory and threw herself into her work as a form of grief and escape. The scientific community marveled at her dedication, but few recognized or wanted to recognize that she was suffering from acute radiation poisoning. She developed anemia, her white blood cell count dropped dangerously, and she suffered from chronic pain that kept her awake at night. Still, she pushed forward. By the 1920s, Curie was secretly documenting her declining health in personal letters, though publicly she maintained her tireless work ethic. She founded the Curie Institute in Paris, a leading cancer research center, and continued investigating the properties of radioactive elements. The irony was devastating. While her work would eventually lead to radioactive treatments for cancer, her own radioactivity-induced illness could not be treated. The medical establishment of the time had no idea what was happening to her. Doctors attributed her symptoms to stress, age, or mysterious ailments. No one connected the dots between her radioactive work and her deteriorating health. In 1934, at age 66, Marie Curie developed aplastic anemia, the same disease that would eventually be recognized as a consequence of prolonged radiation exposure. Her bone marrow had been destroyed by decades of radioactive contamination. She experienced unrelenting fatigue, infections, and debilitating pain. She was admitted to a sanatorium near Paris in July 1934, where she spent her final weeks isolated in a hospital bed, unable to work, unable to think, suffering in a way that contradicted everything her life had stood for. On July 4th, 1934, Marie Curie died. She was buried in a lead coffin to contain the radioactivity still emanating from her body. Marie Curie's tragic death was not in vain. Her sacrifice awakened the scientific community to the dangers of radiation exposure. Within years, laboratories adopted new safety protocols, protective equipment, proper ventilation systems, and regulations limiting exposure to radioactive materials. The field of occupational safety was fundamentally transformed. Scientists began understanding that groundbreaking discovery must be tempered with responsibility toward the discoverer's well-being. Today, radiation safety is taken seriously precisely because of what happened to Marie Curie. Every scientist working with radioactive materials benefits from protections that exist because of her suffering. Marie Curie's legacy is complex and profound. She remains one of the most influential scientists in history. Her discoveries laid the groundwork for nuclear physics, chemistry, and medical treatments that have saved millions of lives. But her story is also a cautionary tale about the cost of obsession without safety, of ambition without boundaries. She was a towering intellect trapped in a body that was slowly being destroyed by the very work she loved. She never stopped working, never retreated, never complained publicly because her era demanded that she prove herself worthy despite her gender, and she poured everything into that proof. In doing so, she changed science forever. Marie Curie's story reminds us that scientific progress isn't always a simple tale of triumph. Sometimes it's a story of sacrifice, danger, and the price paid by those brave enough to venture into the unknown. Her obsession with discovery cost her everything, but it gave us a safer, more conscientious scientific community. What do you think about Marie Curie's legacy? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss a video like this one.